Somebody yesterday wrote in and wanted to know about skills, if they should start using skills, and how to convince their ABA provider to use it because their ABA provider was using the VB-Mapp. Dr. Grampiche answered a little bit, and also I should say that the parent was saying, should I use skills even though they're using the VB-Mapp? What's the difference? Are they going to be compatible? Dr. Grampiche said, there's no better person to answer this than Dr. Najdowski. She's going to be here tomorrow. Let's have her ask it. So talk to us a little bit about the VB-Mapp and skills and what the differences are, and what you think is going to happen if they're using VB-Mapp and she's using skills.
Okay. So the main differences between the VB-Mapp and skills is that the VB-Mapp goes up to age of 48 months.
Okay.
And it's very comprehensive within the language domain. So for teaching language skills, it's very comprehensive. Whereas, and it does have other areas too, but it doesn't have them comprehensively.
Okay.
And then skills goes comprehensively up to the age of 8.
Okay.
And
through the age of 8, right? Up to the 9th
It goes
birthday?
up to about... through the age of 8 comprehensively. Then it also has many more skills going up to 12.
Okay.
But I'm not going to say that's comprehensive.
Okay.
Okay, so meaning it could be missing things here and there or whatever.
And in both cases with the VB-Mapp and skills, these are for skills that emerge within that period of time, correct? Up to 48 months, up to 8 years, up to 12. Emerge. That doesn't mean that even a neurotypical person would get really adept at that. It just means it's emerging in that period. Okay.
Right. But the VB-Mapp, like I said, focuses on language and has some other skills, whereas the skills program focuses on all areas of human functioning. So when it goes up comprehensively through the age of 8, it's including things like perspective taking, executive function, social skills, and some of these higher order skills that are not necessarily going to be addressed in other areas. The other thing is that skills is not only an assessment, the VB-Mapp is an assessment. Skills also is a curriculum. So once you do your assessment, you also get the lesson plans and everything that go with it. And it also has a section on building behavior intervention plans for challenging behavior. So it's all encompassing in that way. So those are the main differences. The other thing is that skills does have some psychometric research on it. The assessment has had 2 studies published. The first one showed that it was reliable, and the second showed that it was valid. And I think that second study is probably the largest amount of data collection ever conducted in any study in behavior analysis. I think we did over 30,000 probes, basically, to show that that was valid. So that was a huge endeavor. I will say that they are compatible within the language domain because the VB-Mapp focuses on Skinner's analysis of language, and it organizes language by verbal behavior types, and skills also does that. So if you were to try to want to use the VB-Mapp and skills, so let's say your provider is not willing to give up using the VB-Mapp for skills, they can continue to use it for, let's say, language, and then you could use skills to supplement the other areas that the VB-Mapp does not cover. So you could basically ignore the language section of skills, and they could just continue doing their thing with the VB-Mapp, but then consider, like, any provider probably consults many different assessments or curricula to get at different areas. They're never going to use one assessment to try to help a kid. They do a battery of assessments.
Right.
So the VB-Mapp is going to be the language one, and then they're going to use something else for social skills and play skills and so forth. So the skills program can be helpful for that. And as far as you going and doing this on your own, I'm not a fan of doing things behind the back of the ABA provider because I think that it develops kind of a bad relationship. And so I would be very kind of open and forthcoming with them, and I would ask them to be cooperative with you. So I would let them know that you want to maybe use skills to address other areas, and ask them if they would like to get involved in helping you to program for that, because perhaps they can go into skills as an expert, an ABA expert, and pick out the various lessons and things that they think you should work on, and then be heavily involved in kind of like consulting with you as to what you're going to be using. At that point, maybe they will buy into it a little bit more and be willing to use it as well. So that's my 2 cents on the difference between and whether you should use them.
I think that's
together.
exciting, though, because you know, it's another tool that this parent has in their tool belt to be able to use. And I think if you go about it in that way, saying, you know, let's use the VB-Mapp for the language, because that's what they're already comfortable with. They understand how to do that.
Ignore language within the skills program.
Right.
Just leave that alone.
But there's so many other things within the skills program that you could be going back to them and saying, hey, let's use this for the social skills assessment, and use the curriculum in this way. Then I think that your child benefits, the provider benefits, and the parent benefits.